what I'm advocating is for our environment. What I'm advocating is stop putting cookware in the garbage. Hi, Jed from Cook Culture. So today I am inspired to talk to you about something that I've mentioned many times, and it's been in our marketing and our communications for years. But I've come to realize just in the last few months, as COVID kind of changed our business and we have a lot less people working with us right now, and I've been talking to face-to-face with customers a lot more, which has been tremendous. I've really enjoyed it. But I've been on the retail floor and dealing with our email program that we deal with customers and requests and so on and so forth, and a lot of one-on-one. And in that one-on-one conversation, I've come to realize that our messaging that we do every year, and we have for years now, around Teflon pans or coated pans. I'm not specifically right now picking on Teflon, but coated pans that either have a chemical nonstick or a ceramic nonstick, or any sort of coated pan outside of like an enameled cast iron pan. But a surface that is supposed to make the pan nonstick is the best way to define it. So all pans that the purpose of the coating is to make it nonstick. I think that should encompass everything that I'm trying to talk about, because I'll sometimes say what I'm saying, and then people are like, oh, but what about this? Oh, what about this? And what about that? And so what I'm trying to say is that all nonstick pans that are made to be nonstick, that have some sort of a coating on them, no matter what the material is part of what I'm about to say. So, and to show you visually, so that is a ceramic nonstick pan. That is an aluminum pan with a ceramic. This is some sort of a speckled nonstick finish. This is some other blackened Thomas cookware. This is one that's actually totally started to wear thin. So anything that looks like one of these pans that you'd find from a dollar store into the highest end kitchen stores, you'll find a nonstick pan like these. And this can encompass brands like Swiss Diamond and ScanPan that are marketed and sold by the retailers as a high-end product that is somehow better than a cheaper product. But what we've come to understand in this day and age is that there's two reasons why these pans don't work. And for anybody that hasn't seen it, I highly suggest watching the movie Dark Waters. So Dark Waters is a movie that was based upon the lies of DuPont, and DuPont made Teflon. And it was a pretty major issue around how DuPont put the chemical Teflon into many different things that went into households in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even today. And I can go into detail, and I have in previous blogs and marketing, and it is actually the premise of the movie, or the evidence of this movie, because it's a movie based all on fact, was the tipping point of what made me completely eradicate all nonstick from Cook Culture. We just stopped selling anything with a nonstick surface. It didn't matter if it was Teflon or it was supposed to be this bad or that or whichever. And so that article that actually came in the New York Times, that now has become a Hollywood movie starring Mark Ruffalo. So really amazing cast. It's got Tim Robbins in it, Mark Ruffalo, and a few other like A-star actors in Hollywood. They did a tremendous job making this movie, and so I highly, highly recommend you watch it. And while you're watching it, you have to keep in mind that it's based on court documents. So what you're watching is actual true events that happened almost verbatim. It wasn't Hollywoodized, and the outcome is what happened in the record of courts. And when you're watching it, it's very hard not to imagine that it's some sort of make-believe Hollywoodized something, because it's so far removed from how you would imagine that people that operate a company would behave. So that's the health aspect of using nonstick cookware. And that's an individual decision that you should decide if you want to make or not, and investigate what that type of chemical is and make a choice. And it's kind of like smoking or eating a Big Mac, right? Like we all have to make our own individual choices. And that's something that I've always been a proponent of. Like, I'm not going to try to push it on anybody that they need to make a health choice because of what may or may not be in cookware and what one brand is saying over another brand. That is important, but irrelevant to the point of what really is important when it comes to nonstick cookware. So all coated cookware, every single brand will wear out. And it may wear out in a month, it may wear out in a year, it may wear out in 10 years if you look after it correctly, but it has a lifespan. And what we became conditioned to do was buying the pan off the shelf, looking at the quality, and trying to reconcile in our mind, how much money am I going to spend to the duration of the life of this pan? And this had been a conversation that I've had hundreds of times over my 25 plus years of selling cookware, where people look at the pan and they're like, oh, well, that looks a lot better. It's a more expensive pan, but it'll last me longer. Never the question of like, will this last me forever? It's like, that will last me for longer. So when the pan does wear out, and if it lasts the length of time in which you paid for the pan, you'll be satisfied with its use. You're like, oh, well, it doesn't owe me anything. It's all done. I'll get a new one, like buying a toaster, which is a whole nother environmental issue. However, we're not talking about toasters. So what happens with the pans is that we make these decisions. We spend 20 bucks on it at Canadian Tire or $300 at a boutique cooking store. And we then want the lifespan that we assume we should be getting from it. And what happens is that they will wear out and they will become garbage. And that's the big issue when it comes to using nonstick cookware. So the question about, oh, is it still toxic? Has it off gas? Oh, it's not so bad for me anymore. Whatever, it's all a bunch of hearsay because nobody knows. Nobody knows how toxic this pan is compared to this pan. Will this one kill me? Will this one not? Like, that's just not really a thing because there's nobody is gonna be able to tell you that for sure. However, what I can tell you for sure is that these pans here that I have, these were brought back to us by customers and they were then exchanged for a new pan, and they're garbage. They're going to the recycle because they're useless. And you know, this is not a very old pan, and it's garbage. So the issue in which I have, and what I really want to communicate that I don't know if I've been really super clear on, is that all non-stick coated cookware, no matter what it is, will turn into garbage. And when you buy it, you're buying garbage, if that makes sense. You just have a time between when you bought it to when it becomes garbage, but it does become garbage. So when I advocate using cast iron or enamel cast iron or stainless steel, what I'm advocating is for our environment. What I'm advocating is stop putting cookware in the garbage. It will become garbage. No company that sells coated cookware can tell you that it won't become garbage. They're lying to you, and I've been lied to directly by manufacturers, hoping that I will then go and lie to my customers, ignorantly, of course. But that just can't be a thing. You can't buy non-stick coated cookware and have it last forever. It's not going to, unless you just don't use it. Buy it, put it away, you know, put it on the mantle. The only way you can do that is buying cast iron, buying a good old-fashioned cast iron, or don't buy it. You know, rummage through your grandparents' basement, you know, recondition it. There's 1,001 videos on YouTube that will show you how to do that. A piece of cast iron, a really good quality piece of stainless steel, it will last you forever. So the point that I'm making here specifically is that if you do the math and think about a pan like this that gets purchased and it lasts 2 years. Let's be nice to this pan and give it 2 years. So just imagine just residences in Canada. How many of these pans are going to be bought by residents in Canada? So say there's what, 36 million Canadians, and then say that you know, how many people live together in a household. So let's even say that it's half that, or you could even take a quarter of that, and then take a pan every 2 years. We're talking every year, millions of pans just in Canada go into the garbage, get tossed into the garbage. If you put this in your blue bin, that goes in the garbage. Regular recycling can't deal with this. So you are creating garbage. You're buying this pan to create garbage. So, you know, all the times in which you complain about, you know, not having a straw, you know, I don't need a straw, I don't need this, or those little things that is great. I'm not getting on like not buying a straw. And then we buy Teflon type coated cookware. It is a major issue. So what I'm pleading with you to do is to stop buying coated cookware. Stop buying coated anything. We actually don't sell waffle irons because I can't find one that doesn't have a Teflon non-stick. So we don't sell waffle irons. Retailers sell it because you buy it, right? This is a little bit of like the drug and the drug dealer, like which one comes first, right? Like if we remove the drug, will the drug problem go away, right? Like if you stop asking for Teflon, people will stop selling it. If you only ask for cast iron and cast iron type products, then that's all that retailers will sell you. And this stuff will go away. So my point there is to stop buying it, stop asking for it, only ask for cast iron, enameled cast iron. There's a process in here that you need to learn how to season cast iron. That takes some time and some patience and some attention. It's not as simple as using a non-stick piece of cookware, I can guarantee you. But once you start using it effectively, it's amazing. It's awesome. It works really well. So, and there, you know, we have videos. There are lots of videos online. That's not the point. I'm not trying to sell you cookware in this video. This is not about selling you anything. This is about helping me communicate clearly because I haven't done it clearly enough. So I'm trying to use the words that are more direct to tell you that this buying non-stick cookware is super detrimental to our environment every time you do it. So my request is that we stop doing it, and that if you need help understanding directions to go in, I'm there for you. And I know other really great retailers that are trying to do the same thing I talk to retailers and they're like, oh, but people still ask for it, so we carry it. Because stop asking for it. And hopefully we can make the planet a better place.